Okay, so this is a video about democratization, political, intellectual, and technological. I think that this is the one of the important kind of topics of the present and the future. Not so much political democratization, but intellectual and technological democratization. I think where our future lies is in the democratization of knowledge and technology being available to pretty much everyone on the earth, potentially, and not so much political democratization. The fact is that political democratization is always questionable. From my perspective, it's just neo-colonialism or neo-imperialism. If you look at the Middle East, this whole thing is just a big oil grab. If you look at throughout history, recent history and past history, all of these efforts to come in and, democratize have all been about, mineral grabs and resource grabs. So anyone who, talks these slogans of political democratization, you can really just, their sincerity, you have to really question their sincerity, their motivation, and also the effectiveness of it if that's their real aim, is to democratize, say, the Middle East or whatever, which I don't buy it. It's a crock. But where real democratization will happen is through the internet and the democratization of knowledge. Essentially, we have a condition now where all of the intellectual developments of human beings throughout their whole, recent history can be shared through the internet, and it's available to everyone. And we can add new science, new ideas, new technology, and we can have a lot of back and forth. Likewise, the internet's going to play a big part, but we're going to see more and more the democratization of technology. I mean, if you look at all these if you just look on the internet and you look at all these how-to videos, how to do this, how to do that, and you look at other indications such as these things called the maker movement, and these other, as well as the potential for things like digital fabrication, what you're going to see more and more is a lot of interesting things happening on an international scale. Really, the real potential and the real point is that the future lies with individuals solving their local or regional problems through technology. I mean, frankly, if you look, you look at governments, corporations, financial institutions, to whatever extent or degree they've served themselves, but they've pretty much failed the rest of us. So, honestly, most people in most places can't really depend on governments to ensure that they'll have their basic necessities covered. However, with the internet and technology, and as I said, the potential for digital fabrication, as well as just how to and do-it-yourself things, people are more and more going to be able to create in their local communities whatever it is they need and solve their problems through technology. What I see in the future, and what's I think is already developing, is more Silicon Valleys. not just in California, but what about India or even China or Africa or Asia or wherever else, even in Europe? I see that these kind of things are going to happen globally. So it's going to take off. The great thing about this kind of potential of the not so much political democratization, but the democratization of knowledge and of technology is that it will more and more break down or eliminate these asymmetric kind of relationships that have been established between governments and so on, and individuals, as well as institutions, larger institutions and communities. So, for instance, if you look at these asymmetric relationships of say, the Walmart and local economies, more and more people will start figuring out how to create the things that they need without having to purchase cheap goods from China or elsewhere. They'll fabricate them themselves. And this will happen not only in rural areas, say in the United States, or even, urban areas in the United States, but it's going to happen internationally, globally. People are going to start doing more and more digital fabrication, whether it's cups, plates, you name it. They're going to make everything, and they're not going to need to go to these places, these institutions that come in, and such as a Walmart that comes in, and they come into a community. It's good for their company, but it's bad for the whole local economy. So obviously we need other solutions. Of course, you see other things, like, for instance, just another interesting thing where technology can essentially eliminate or undermine asymmetric relationships nationally or between corporations. If you look at this instance of Brazil and their development of ethanol technology in their vehicles, and being able to have cheap fuel prices because they don't have these oil companies, basically, or oil nations, one or the other or both, essentially being able to rob them of their potential to develop a thriving economy. See, there's all kinds of possibilities just like this, and so we need to watch Brazil. Brazil's going to be a major player in the future, maybe even up there beyond China and all the rest. So, but also, if you look at these ending of these elimination of these asymmetric kind of economic, political, social, whatever relationships, what you're seeing in these asymmetric relationships, Walmart versus the local economy, or these major, oil industries in some, small nation or whatever, what you're seeing is we can come to the end of corporate imperialism and corporate colonialism, which is really all we transitioned from. When the political ones ended, the corporate ones began. The basic point that I want to make is that democratization of knowledge and technology is going to be the single most important revolution of the 21st century. And it's going to shape our future, not the UN, not any of these phony governments or the so-called elites. None of them are going to drive anything. They're going to be driven out of business. Because what's going to happen is the internet, knowledge, technology is going to be democratized. It's going to reach the people, and people are going to build whatever they need, solve their problems where they're at, regardless of what these phony governments and elites and, money grubbers do. And they're just going to become what they are, obsolete. So just build things, make things, develop knowledge, develop technology, and find solutions to your problems where you're at with what's available to you. Even the whole thing of recycling, upcycling, however you call it, people are going to start learning how to use whatever's at hand and available to solve whatever problems they have. And the more this happens, the better off we're all going to be, and the stronger all of our communities will be. So, yeah,